Eagles versus Cowboys.
Eagles are laying 7.5. The total here is at 42. Cowboys were my only loss last week in the Triple Crown. We're in that game to the end, but just fell short, as the Cowboys often do. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, of course it got worse. Jerry Jones did it again, traded a fourth-round pick for fucking Jonathan Mingo, a guy who couldn't get any run in Carolina. Junior, you're back in Philly. I get it, but tell us why anyway.
It's really to do with the trajectory of the Eagles versus the trajectory of Dallas. Last week the Eagles were cruising, looking good, 22-0, and then their coach, who can't really seem to get out of his own way, started fucking around and let the Jaguars back into the game. And I think that's the wake-up call that he needed heading into a division game, a game that means more than a normal division game, right? If anything, there's not really a team that the Eagles fans and their organization hate more than the Cowboys, maybe other than the Giants. So this is a game that means a lot. Bury the Cowboys while continuing to improve on your 2-2 start. And what would that be, like their sixth or seventh game in a row that they've won? But more importantly, just the makeup of both sides. I saw a stat the other day. 75% or 77% of all Dallas drives against their defense end in a touchdown. Not in a score, a fucking touchdown. That's insanely bad. The only team worse than them in the league overall on defense is Carolina, and that speaks for itself. I think that the Eagles come in here, smash them in the mouth. Saquon Barkley is probably salivating looking at this insanely bad Dallas defense. I think Philly routs Dallas and puts them out of their misery.
You guys want to hear something funny? And tell me if you've heard this joke before. I'm taking the Cowboys. Give me the 7.5. I'm backing the boys. All right, well, that didn't come out right. But you guys know what I'm saying. Prescott out. Good. Fuck it. Beat it, bum. I've been screaming for Cooper Rush for 2 years. He came in one of the hardest spots last week for a quarterback to come in. And he actually played well in the spot. Now he gets a week to prepare as QB1. And we all know what Cooper did as a starter 2 years ago. Cowboys get Micah Parsons back. Jalen Hurts is fucking trash. He's a two-trick pony at best. At his height, he was a two-trick pony. Run the ball, throw it downfield. Now he can't fucking run. Parsons is gonna feast. And by the way, fuck Saquon. Barkley is nice. Yeah, I get it, right? But we all know the fucking season-ending injury is coming at some point. Just ask all Giant fans everywhere. And it may come early in this fucking game. Micah Parsons is a lying, looking to fucking feast. Let's go. I am backing the Cowboys in this spot. Guns fucking blazing. My 6 shooters are out. Yeehaw. Let's go fucking Cowboys.
Now, even though you live in Miami, that New York accent came out heavy on that fuck Saquon, so I know where that comes from.
I'm not a Giants fan. No. Bermante's a Giants fan. I'm not a Giants fan. I'm not. I'm actually a Cowboys fan, but I don't like to admit that, especially when I'm fucking taking the Cowboys, because you know me, Junior. I'll bet the Heat. I'll bet against the Heat. I'll bet the Cowboys. I'll bet against the Cowboys. I don't give a fuck. It depends on the spot, and this is just a good spot for the Cowboys and a number that I really like. You're giving me better than a touchdown in a divisional game at home with our best player coming back. So this isn't even a play on the Cowboys offense. One thing you'll say about Cooper Rush, he's efficient, right? He's not going to make the mistakes that Dak makes. They aren't going to give him that wiggle room. They're going to run the ball a little bit more, even though their run game is trash, and we all get that. But Daddle's now back, so maybe, he adds a little bit of flavor to the run game. And it just opens up the playbook a little bit more, and you're not worried about when Dak is going to make that, fuck that play. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not going to come. Cooper Rush is a smart, heady quarterback. And listen, even in his incompletions last week, there's 3 or 4 incompletions that he threw that actually were right in the fucking player's hands. CeeDee Lamb on that diving touchdown where he finally hurt his shoulder enough to where he had to leave the game. The ball was placed exactly where you want the ball to be placed. And I'll always take a quarterback that's willing to stand in the pocket and deliver a nice catchable ball. And that's what Cooper Rush does. He doesn't play outside himself. He doesn't look to try and make that one big play that's going to change the game. Because as Cowboy fans know, usually that one play ends up going the fucking opposite direction when Dak's in there. You're not going to see that from Cooper Rush. And I'll bring it back to 2 years ago, which was, I believe, the Eagles Super Bowl fucking March, right? What happened when Cooper Rush went into Philly? They played neck and neck for most of that fucking game, and the moment was not too big for Cooper Rush on national television in a standalone national spotlight game. I believe it was a Thursday night game. I like Cooper Rush in this spot. I like Cooper Rush, the quarterback, and I like the number. I mean, 7.5. You're giving me 7.5. I'm going to take it all day long.
I mean, I'm still on Dallas, but I agree with a lot of your points. Especially the Jalen Hurts point. I think he's in the most favorable quarterback situation in the league and should be able to do way more with that offensive line, those weapons, that running back. He's wildly overrated by Eagles fans. And I will say this just to concede to your point, even though I'm laying these points with Dallas, I do have this in a teaser with the Chargers just to, you know what I'm saying, a little insurance.
Now, I wouldn't mind a two-team teaser, Chargers, Eagles. I could actually get behind and back that because, yeah, the Eagles probably at the end of the day win. They are the better team, but I don't give a fuck. I'm taking the 7.5. Give me the Cowboys plus the points. Junior is locked on to the Eagles. He's laying it with the Eagles. I'm taking the Cowboys plus the points. Junior also likes a two-team teaser, which is, you said teaser or moneyline parlay?
Teaser, Chargers, Cowboys.
Chargers, Eagles, you mean?
I mean Chargers, Eagles.
See, I'm bringing you up. I'm fucking reeling you into the evil empire here. You know what? I guarantee you guys, Junior will have a Cowboy ticket by Sunday.